A quick stop at the grocery store became a moment he'd never forget. A single dad noticed the cashier's hands shaking and gently asked why. She tried to hide it, but when the truth finally slipped out, it left him stunned, and what followed ended up changing both their lives forever. Imagine this, you're at the checkout, and the cashier's hands are shaking so much she can barely scan your groceries. You ask if she's okay, and her answer changes everything you thought you knew about courage and standing up for what's right. Stick around, because you won't believe what happened when one single dad chose not to stay silent. If you believe kindness can change lives, please like this video and subscribe to Kindness Stories so we can keep sharing these inspiring tales. It was a quiet evening at a grocery store in Portland, Oregon. Daniel Carter, a 36-year-old single dad, was in line with his 7-year-old daughter, Emily. When they got to the counter, Daniel noticed the young cashier, whose name tag read Sophie. She looked to be in her early 20s and was struggling. Her hands were trembling, not from the cold, but from something deeper, nerves or fear. Daniel placed his items on the conveyor belt and watched her fumble with the scanner. "Hey, are you okay?" he asked gently. She offered a weak smile. "Yeah, I'm fine. Just a long day." But Daniel wasn't buying it. As a former firefighter, he knew what fear looked like. He watched her fingers shake as she tried to type in a code, backspacing twice. "Are you sure?" he pressed softly. "It looks like something's wrong." Sophie's eyes quickly darted toward the manager's office across the store, then back to him. "It's nothing, really." Emily, with a child's honesty, asked, "Are you cold? My daddy can give you his jacket." Sophie gave a small, forced chuckle. "No, sweetie. That's so kind, but I'm fine." Something in Daniel told him she was hiding a secret. He paid for his groceries and started to leave, but he couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Halfway to the exit, he turned and saw Sophie lean against the counter as if she might collapse. At that moment, the manager, a stocky man with a scowl, came out of his office and barked something at her. Sophie immediately went rigid. Daniel knew this wasn't about being tired. He walked back to the counter and waited for the next customer to leave. "Listen," he said quietly. "You keep looking at your manager's office. If there's a problem, you can tell me." Sophie's lips parted, then closed. "I really shouldn't. It's nothing I can talk about." Daniel lowered his voice. "I'm a dad. I've seen enough to know when someone is in trouble. I'm not walking away without making sure you're okay." She looked like she might cry. After a pause, she whispered, "It's him. He harasses me." Daniel's chest tightened. "How?" Her eyes welled up. "Comments, touching my shoulder when he walks by, saying things no one should ever say at work. When I told him to stop, he cut my hours." Daniel's jaw clenched. "How long?" 6 months, she whispered. "I need this job. My rent's overdue, and I can't afford to make him angrier." The weight of her words hit him. He looked at Emily, who was humming to herself, completely unaware. Daniel knew what it felt like to be powerless. He took a deep breath. "Sophie, you don't have to deal with this alone." She shook her head. "Please don't say anything. It'll just make things worse." But Daniel wasn't the type to stand by. He didn't confront the manager right then. He took Emily to the car, called his sister to watch her, and returned alone. He waited for the line to clear before approaching Sophie again. "I know you told me not to get involved," he began, "but I can't pretend I didn't hear what you said." She looked at him in alarm. "Please, Daniel." "I'm not going to yell at him," he assured her. "But I know the law. There are ways to make this stop, and I'm here to help you report it." Her lips trembled. I'm scared." "I know," he said softly. "Courage isn't about not being scared. It's about doing the right thing anyway." After a long pause, she whispered, "What if no one believes me?" Daniel leaned in. "Then they'll have to deal with me. I've seen men like him get away with it because people stay silent." Not this time. Slowly, she nodded. Together, they went to the break room, and Sophie shakily called the company's HR department. Daniel stayed with her the whole time. She described the harassment in detail, and the HR representative promised a full investigation. When they walked out, the manager saw them and demanded, "What's going on here?" Sophie's voice shook, but she stood a little taller. "What's going on is that I've reported you." The man's face went pale. You can't." "I can," she said, surprising even herself. "And I did." Daniel stepped forward. "You're done intimidating her. If I hear you so much as look at her the wrong way again, you'll have more than HR to answer to." The manager sputtered, but said nothing more. As they left, Sophie exhaled in relief. "I can't believe I did that." "You did," Daniel said with a small smile. "And you're stronger than you think." She looked at him with gratitude. "Thank you for not walking away." He shrugged. Sometimes the smallest act of kindness can change someone's whole world. A few days later, Sophie called Daniel to tell him the manager had been suspended. The company had offered her more hours at a different store. When Daniel hung up, Emily asked, "Daddy, is she okay now?" "Yes, sweetheart," he said, pulling her close. "Because sometimes you just have to stand up for someone, even if you don't know them well." If this story touched your heart, remember that kindness is more powerful than we think. Even a simple question like, "Are you okay?" can change a person's life. Please like this video and subscribe to Kindness Stories so we can keep sharing these powerful moments of compassion with the world.